Hi there everyone, welcome to the second lesson of online learning. Hope the first lesson went okay. Let's see how we go with this one. Rightio, we have a do now that you have to do. You've got to write down 3 multiplication sums that equal the two numbers. So you've got 20 and 30. See if you can write down 3 multiplication sums that equal 20 and 3 multiplication sums that equal 30. Away you go. You've got 1 minute. Okay, we're done. That's 1 minute. How did you go? Did you get any of these? So there we go. There's 3 multiplication sums that equal 20. And with 30, there's actually 4 that you can do. So how'd you go? Hope you got all them. Hope you weren't disrupted by a little character appearing on the screen then. Just a test to make sure you're focused. Rightio, moving on. So today we are going to look at perimeter. We're going to compare shapes based on their length, and you're going to use perimeter measurement to solve some problems. Warm up. Okay, 5 times tables. You've got 2 minutes to try and complete as many of those as you can. Away you go. Forty seconds. Ten seconds to go. Okay, that's time. Okay, how'd you go? Did you get them all done? We'll check on the next screen. You can just check your answers there. So quickly check your answers. Correct the ones you got wrong. Don't worry if you didn't get them all done. Okay, moving on. Measurement. Length, height, width are measurements that involve measuring in a straight line. So that's what we're looking at today when we're measuring perimeter. We're measuring lines. There's some examples there. Okay, you can measure the height of people. You're actually measuring a straight line when you're measuring height. You're measuring how high they are off the ground. On the shape on the right hand side, you've got a rectangle where you can measure the width and the length. You can also have, they also have different names. You can call that depth if you want. And depending on how you turn the shape around, it can be height, length, width. Okay, the perimeter is the length of the boundary around a plane shape. So any plane shape, and when we're talking plane shape, we're talking two-dimensional shapes, we're talking flat shape. It is the boundary around the outside of that shape. Okay, and when we're talking perimeter, we're talking width, circumference. When we're talking about circles, the edge, so we can also talk about the edge around the shape, the length or the outside of the shape. So if you have a look at these shapes over here, if we're looking at perimeter, we are looking at the red line around the outside of those shapes. So that's what we're talking about when we're measuring the perimeter. We're measuring the distance around the outside of that shape, the perimeter, the edge. Okay, so we've got some shapes here that we're going to look for the perimeter. So we've got A, B and C. We're going to do the first one first. So each one of those shapes, it says up here that it's 1 centimetre boxes. So there we've got a whole lot of 1 centimetre boxes shaded there. We're going to find the perimeter around the outside of those shapes. So for this first one, for A, we're going to do together. All I'm doing is I'm counting the number of 1 centimetre distances around the outside. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that means that the perimeter around the outside of that shape, the distance around the outside of that shape is going to be 16. What's 16? Well, it says that the boxes are in square centimetres, so each one of those sides of the box is a centimetre, so it's 16 centimetres. So I'm going to let you try B and C now, so just pause the video for a minute or so and see if you can work out the perimeters of shape B and C. Away you go. Okay, how did you go with B and C? Okay, I'm going to bring the answers up on the screen now. So there are the answers there, 16 centimetres for B and 20 centimetres for C. If you got those wrong, just check, make sure you've counted properly around the outside. Moving on. Okay, I've got 3 for you to do it by yourself now, D, E and F. So same thing, you're going to count the distance around the outside of that shape. You're finding the perimeter. Away you go. Okay, make sure you've paused the video before you start these. I'm just about to bring up the answers now, so hopefully you've completed them. So they're the answers, 18 centimetres for D, 30 centimetres for E, and 22 centimetres for F. Like I said before, if you got them wrong, just make sure you've counted up the outside area properly, which is the distance around the outside. Okay, moving on. Now we have some shapes that have already been measured out. So if you see the first shape over here, which is a square because it's indicated by each side as 10 centimetres, all sides are equal in a square, it's already been measured up for you. So it's basically measured out 10 1 centimetre sections along each side. So that's 10 centimetres, 10 centimetres, 10 centimetres and 10 centimetres. Okay, so all we have to do now is we don't have to count up the 1 centimetre sections. It's already been done for us. We just have to count up the measurements, which is 10 centimetres, plus 10, plus 10, and plus 10. 4 lots of 10 equals 40. So that first shape, that square there, represents a perimeter, which is around the outside, of 40 centimetres. So I want you to do the same for these other 3 shapes now. Okay, away you go. Rightio, how did we go with those 3? I'm going to bring up the answers now. So there you go, they're the answers. So for each one of those other shapes, you're just adding up the sides. So we've got 15 centimetres, 7, 15 and 7. Adding all them up. On this shape here, we've got 3 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. And on this final shape, we've got 2 centimetres plus 10 plus 2 plus 10. That's giving you the perimeter, the distance around the outside of each of those shapes. Hopefully you're trying not to use a calculator. If you really need to use a calculator, then use it, but just try and add these up on a piece of paper. Okay, next lot. Give these ones a go. There we go. 3 more shapes, away you go. Okay, let's go to the answers now. There we go. Number 5, 42 centimetres, 6, 46 centimetres, and 7, 64 centimetres. Rightio, to finish up today, we have an extension activity. As you can see, we've got 2 irregular shapes on the screen there now. It has dimensions around the outside, but there's certain sides on these 2 shapes that haven't got the measurements written in. You have to work them out. So you need to try and work out what the distance is, what the length is of those sides on those 2 shapes. Work it out and then add up the sides to work out the perimeter for those 2 shapes. Away you go. Rightio, so we had to work out these sides that there wasn't a measurement for, okay, and they were actually 3 centimetres each one of those sides. And the way we work that out is we have 6 centimetres on this side. Oh, let me go back, sorry. We have 6 metres on this side, okay, and on this side we only have 3 centimetres. So we've got 3 centimetres, but we didn't have that measurement here. So if you've got 6 centimetres in total and 3 centimetres on this side, then to add that up to the same as the other side was 3 centimetres. So that was 3 centimetres for that side here. And the same thing on this other side. We've got 8 centimetres in total down that side. And on this side you can see we've only got 5 centimetres so far. Okay, so we have to get the rest of the distance down to the bottom to make up the 8 centimetres. What do you add on to the 5 to get 8 is 3 centimetres. And the same going across. We've got 5 centimetres going across the top. We've got 2 centimetres there, but we didn't have that measurement. What's the difference between what makes up the difference between 5 and 2? 3 centimetres. So there we have it. So once you've got the sides, you add up all the sides, and for shape 1 it was 30 centimetres, and for shape 2 it was 26 centimetres. Okay, so that's it for lesson 2. Hopefully you got something out of that. I'll have my assistant here, Yoda, say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye, and we will see you for lesson 3 soon. Goodbye.